Okay, there she is, the Black Widow Galant VR4. So I took it for a spin around the block, and I feel that it's still too low. So it didn't look very low in the driveway, if you remember correctly. But like I said, you have to drive it around and let it settle. In fact, I think the front got lower because I raised the back. So like the weight, it's going like this now. So we're gonna have to figure something out. Anyway, so this is what we're working with. And mind you, this road has like a little crown to it, so it's probably gonna be lower on the right side than it is on the left side. So, but anyway, we'll go around the car and we'll check the gaps. So I got 2 fingers, yeah, 2 fingers in the rear. If you remember correctly, I wanted 2.5 in the rear, and then I got like barely 1 finger. I have to like angle my finger up a little bit to get 1 finger in there, but yeah, it's 1 finger in the front. So we're still gonna scrapey on the front. I think I feel that we should raise the rear a little more, just a little bit more. The front is 1 finger. Yep, the left front, and the right rear is 2 finger. 2 finger, maybe a loose 2 fingers, but yeah. So I feel I want to raise it a little more. Yeah, because we're gonna raise this one. I want this to be, what was it? I said I wanted this to be 2 fingers, and I wanted this to be 2.5 fingers. It was good. So we're gonna go raise this one a little bit more. Probably just so we raised it, and we raised it 3/4 before, so I figure if we probably go to just 1 inch, we'll be good, because it still seems really low. I drove it around the block, and I stopped a bunch of times, and I did a bunch of turns. So, and then I figured like, and then it's so the suspension settled. So that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to drive the car, and then you're gonna have to let the suspension settle on the car, and it just settled. So it's a lot lower than I thought it would be. It still looks slammed. All right, so I think we'll raise the rear a 1/4 inch more. I think a 1/4 inch will be 3. Let me see what 3 fingers is. Right. Okay, so I've decided let's it's a 2 inch gap is what 2.5 fingers is pretty much. I think if we go, I'd like to try to raise it a 1/4 inch more. So that would have been we raised it 3/4 of an inch. So I want to go. Let's go to 1 inch by adding a 1/4 of an inch to it, and then we'll see how that works. And it seems like we're raising it a lot. I wonder how much we can raise it. It's a good question. And I understand that the front is getting lower. I know. Should I do the front first? So the front, the front is going to be exactly where the rear is at right now. That's how I want the front to look, which is perfectly fine. It looks good. It still looks kind of slammed, but not really. And it should scrape a lot less. It's scraping a lot on the front. So we go raise the back 1/4 of an inch, and then we'll start working on the front. All right, here's me go. Okay, I got the Black Widow in the air again, and we're gonna go add an extra 1/4 of an inch to the height on the back. So I'm not gonna get a video of me doing it. I'll just tell you how it goes. Yeah. So this time I'm just gonna kind of just throw the jack stands under there, but I'm not gonna actually lower it on the jack stands. They'll just be there as a just in case, just in case it falls off of the jack. But I'm gonna try to knock this out real quick. So as you can see, the height is much different when it's in an inclined driveway than it is on like a fairly flat street. So so you should get your measurements while it's on the street, which I did not, unfortunately. I just measured it before I took this stuff apart. And if you remember correctly, I worked on the brakes and all that stuff. It seemed to be braking okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So yeah. Yeah, alright, so get on it. Oh, by the way, Today I'm wearing my my Mitsubishi Owner's Day 2018 T-shirt. Here it is. It's even got a Galant on it somewhere. Where's the Galant? It's hard to tell from. I think that's it right there. That's the Galant right there, or it's a Diamante. I don't know. It's not this model Galant though. All right. Okay, so I measured just 1 inch from where. Sorry, it's hard to see, but 1 inch from where the tape shows, using the method that I did last time. So we're just going to add 0.25 to that. It would be like 1.25. I'm just going to zero it and put 0.25, like do exactly what I did last time. Okay, that's what I got. So I wound up loosening it 2.5 turns is what I'll wind up. So we'll just do 2.5 turns and then I'll measure it. I went 3 turns and it was a little bit more. It was like a 0.27 inches. So I said like, well, let's go back off half a turn, and I backed off half a turn. So we got that quarter inch there. So I'm gonna go ahead and lock it up and then put the wheel back on and start on the other side. Hey, it's Meg here. So I got done adjusting both sides. It's the same story as last time. When I adjusted one, like I adjusted this on 2.5 is what I said. 2.5, 2 full rotations and a half rotation. And what was the problem? And then the other side was more. The other side was like I had to do 4 turns. So I guess this this method of counting how many times you turn the collar around, it doesn't work. You basically, I mean, you can use that as a reference, but then it's not good to go totally off of it. I measured it and it was it still needed to be adjusted like a lot more, like a full turn or something. Well, like I said, I did 4 full turns. Well, this one was only 2.5, so you definitely want to go by measurements. And then I made sure it was right. Like, I don't know if the preload is adjusted evenly on both sides. I'm pretty sure it is, because I just checked. I measured from the bottom of the collar to the top, to the bottom of the preload collar here, and I got like 3.47 inches or something. And then I checked both sides, and they were exactly the same. So I'm telling you that that method where you put the tape on it and you count the revolutions, it doesn't really work. At least it doesn't work on the Feal coilovers, because I did it the exact same way both times. I put the tape on the bottom here to mark it, and then I measured however much I wanted to adjust it. From there, I added it, and then I adjusted it there using the revolutions thingy. I kept track of it, and yeah, so it didn't work out. But yeah. But actually using the measurement on the caliper, and you measuring from the base of the shock here, and then the mark you made with the tape on the threads, it works. So and I got the same distance, because the distance from the locking collar to the preload collar would be different if I didn't run. And I checked it on both sides, and it was like spot on. So like you gotta do measurements. So I'm gonna say now that wouldn't work if the preload was messed up. If your preload is like, that's the problem with this adjustable suspension. It's like it's too adjustable. There's like user error that can be I mean, the good thing is, like, if you were gonna like do some kind of like oval racing or something, then yeah, you probably want to get the car like ride height, like you want it to be lower on one side on the other. So like you could do something like that possibly, but for the street, it's just better to just have everything the same. Unless you knew you're gonna do a lot more left turns than right turns on a track, then yeah, I don't think you would want to do something like that. So yeah. Anyway, everything looks like it's all good now. I'm gonna go button it back up, and then we're gonna drive it around the block again, and we'll see what we got. So, 2.5 fingers, hopefully 2.5 fingers. Okay, so here's the rear. I can pretty easily get 2 fingers in there, so I'd say that's about 2.5. Look at it's not quite 3, but it's not 2 either. So that's pretty much how I wanted it. If I could have the front pretty much the same, or at least 2 fingers, that'll be good. The front right is less than 1 finger. Less than 1 finger. I look at that. I have to angle my finger in this way to get it in there. That's less than 1 finger. That's like a half a finger. So the front's gonna need a lot of work to get it to 2 fingers. Yeah. But yeah, same. Almost the same story. This side seems like it's a little higher, but we're on a crown. The car is kind of like this a little bit. And then here's the rear left. Same as the other side. So basically I can put 2 fingers in there easily and jiggle it around. 3 fingers won't fit. So 2.5. 2.5 Hades Omega fingers does the trick. So that's I'm pretty happy with the way the rear is. I snugged those brake lines up, and so now I'm gonna go park the car in the driveway this way, and then we'll start working on the front. But I think I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I'm glad we got the rear done today. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we may have to do this several times. I'm not gonna lie, maybe we should have just adjusted all of them at the same time, because when you adjust one, it also affects the other side, as you've noticed right now. Because if you remember correctly, the front was like 1 finger, and now it's like less than 1 finger. So and that's simply because we raised the rear a little bit, you know. But I feel that this is much better. I can actually drive people in this car, people with, you know, a decent size, adult sized people in this car, without it scraping constantly in the rear. So I feel like I probably should play with the preload also, but I don't know. Playing with the preload is tricky. Yeah. I don't really want to get into that. That's something you probably should take it to a suspension specialist, because you have to kind of like, you have to let the car settle, and then you have to see how much of the stroke it's going on. It's messing with preload is tough stuff. All right, that's why you have like airbags and stuff, you know. All right, anyway, so that's it for today, I think. Unfortunately, I wanted to get started on the front, and I wound up doing the rear again. So that's okay. The rest of the week, my dad is going to work, so I have time to work on the car in the driveway. So tomorrow again, I guess. But I'll get the car orientated in here and everything, and then we'll get on it tomorrow. All right.